Did you know that in Nigeria over the past year the prices of oil and electricity went up over 10 times? Also, their currency went down by 30%, which means their purchasing power went down, the prices went up, and so people are even poorer than they were. And you know, Nigeria is not a very rich country, like people are not rich over there. The country is super rich because they have so many resources, but those resources are taken over by the government and sold outside of the Nigeria, obviously. And so one point I'm trying to make is that in Europe and in a lot of developed countries we have our own problems. They are getting worse and worse, don't get me wrong. But people over there right now, they are on the brink of collapse, I would say. People are working 2 jobs, making good money, and they still cannot afford to have the proper housing, proper like really living. And I'm talking about this just because today, after a year and few months of cooperation with Nika, she was really forced by her situation to leave us, and she will no longer work with us, which is super sad because like we've been getting along for such a long time. She's developed quite a lot of part of what we have, like majority of the part of what we have right now on the business side of Uniflow, and because of economic situation, she wasn't able to continue with us, which is tragic, I would say. And I hope she will obviously get better and she will like manage to help her husband and get on on their feet. But like that kind of situations are not only in Europe and not only in developed countries. Those underdeveloped countries have even worse situation, and those situations are not getting any better over there. It's even more difficult because they are so corrupt, they cannot do anything. The differences between the developed countries and the not developed countries is that the countries in Africa, they are corrupt, but at least everything is super open and people know there is a corruption. In Europe, it's a little bit opposite. There is so much corruption, it's probably even more than there, but no one is talking about this. It's not as open, wide for everyone to see, so not everyone is aware about on what scale that corruption is going on. And my point that I'm trying to make right now is that as a whole society, as a whole world, as a population of people who going to war, trying to make sure that they have enough money on a monthly basis, that's the majority of the population. Not talking about those rich who doesn't have to work until the end of their life and they can just rely, because that's just 1%, maybe 2% of the whole population. So I'm talking about those people who are on the daily basis paying taxes, on the daily basis struggling, on the daily basis trying to get on. Those people, we don't have any tools to make our life better. We need to rely on those people in power to make the life for us better, which unfortunately it's not the case in, let's say, more than 50% of the countries around the world. And I would like to change that because I'm already fed up of all of those things that's going on around the world and taxes being misleadingly spent where they could be used in making so much good for the people around the world, not only for the people in the certain countries, and giving the aid to the people around the world, especially from those more developed and richer countries. But right now it feels like all of that is so corrupted and that money is going into the friends, families of people who are running those companies or those projects, and it's not really going to the money and helping those who are really needed the most. There are obviously some cases where that money is used very well, so don't get me wrong on that. There are a lot of charities who are doing a lot of good stuff, but the main point stands that we don't have the tools to actually manage our taxes and decide where we would like to spend our taxes. Let's say in USA they said right now that they're going to spend $100 billion on the war in Israel, which is a ridiculous amount of money. And there is one gentleman on YouTube who was talking about how that money could be used in a different way in US society, like how it could enhance the US society. For example, it could fix the university system. All of the education could be for free, just for the yearly budget for the war, okay? All of the university for free. Remove the homeless people from the streets. Help the most vulnerable people with healthcare costs. Like those 3 things are probably one of the largest problems right now in USA, which is education, homelessness, and healthcare. And those could be fixed with that 1-year budget that is spent on the war with Israel, which is not even their war. I know that Israel and US, they are friends in some ways, in economical ways, but 100 billion on the war, come on, who's gonna get the most of that money? Obviously some companies, some friends of friends, some family of family. At the end of the day, that's our money, that's taxpayers' money, and they are misused without really us being able to do anything about this. Let me know your thoughts about this, because for me this is ridiculous and it shouldn't be like that, and it should be changed as soon as possible, as technology allows us to do that. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Thank you very much, Nika, for the last year. It was a pleasure to work with you, and I see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.